Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 1, chapter number 18, text number 3. Usrijya sarvata sangam vikta vignajajita samsiti vayyasake jaho sishyao gangayam swam kalevaram. Translation and purport by Divine Grace by Charanaravinda Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Furthermore, after leaving all his associates, the king surrendered himself as a disciple to the son of Vyasa, Shukadeva Goswami, and thus he was able to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The word Ajita is significant here. The personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, is known as Ajita or unconquerable, and he is so in every respect. No one can know his actual position. He is unconquerable by knowledge also. We have heard about his Dhamma or place, eternal Goloka Vrindavan, but there are many scholars who interpret this abode in different ways. But by the grace of a spiritual master like Shukadeva Goswami, unto whom the king gave himself up as a most humble disciple, one is able to understand the actual position of the Lord, his eternal abode, and his transcendental paraphernalia in that Dhamma or abode. Knowing the transcendental position of the Lord and the transcendental method by which one can approach that transcendental Dhamma, the king was confident about his ultimate destination. And by knowing this, he could leave aside everything material, even his own body, without any difficulty of attachment. In the Bhagavad Gita it is stated, Parandrishtva nivartate. One can give up all connection with material attachment when one is able to see the Param, or the superior quality of things. From Bhagavad Gita we understand the quality of the Lord's energy that is superior to the material quality of energy, and by the grace of a bona fide spiritual master like Shukadeva Goswami, it is quite possible to know everything of the superior energy of the Lord, by which the Lord manifests his eternal name, quality, pastimes, paraphernalia, and variegatedness. Unless one thoroughly understands this superior or eternal energy of the Lord, it is not possible to leave the material energy, however one may theoretically speculate on the true nature of the absolute truth. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was able to receive the mercy of such a personality as Shukadeva Goswami, and thus he was able to know the actual position of the unconquerable Lord. It is very difficult to find the Lord from the Vedic literatures, but it is very easy to know him by the mercy of a liberated devotee like Shukadeva Goswami. This is the Bhakti-Vedanta purport. So Srila Prabhupada starts this purport stating that there is a very important word which we need to appreciate. Lord is qualified as a person who is Ajita. Ajita means he is unconquerable, he is also unknowable. He cannot be known. He cannot be known easily. Okay. So around last year, around this time, 3 physicists were given Nobel Prize for shaking the entire scientific academia. Okay? They have proven that universe is not simultaneously real or local. What do you mean by that? I'm not from science background. Okay? So, but anyway, I read some of the articles. Okay? So, the Scientific American gives a very nice example. The journal Scientific American gives a nice example. You take a red apple. Okay? You put the red apple on a table. Okay. First, let us understand the word real and local. So, real means whether you see the apple or not, the apple exists. Correct? I close my eyes. Can I say apple does not exist? No, apple is there. Okay. So, apple exists whether I see or not. Okay. Whether I am color blind or not, apple is still red. Red apple exists whether I am able to observe or not. Then, what do you mean by local? Local means if the apple has to stand on this table and not fall apart, okay, only the table or the nearby surrounding circumstances should influence the apple. Not the table which is there in America is able to influence the apple in India, in Bangalore. Okay? This is what was the classical physics was always talking about, that universe is real and universe is local. But then later in the mid-1900s, the scientists started, especially the quantum physicists, started giving certain theories which Einstein himself said that how it is possible. The scientists started saying about that, how this universe may not be real. Only when you observe, the universe would be there. Then Einstein mocked at them saying that, can you say that moon is not there when I don't see? Like that Einstein mocked at them. Okay? Actually, the atheists were having gala time, when science is able to tell them that, everything can be created just by science. Okay, the atheists were having gala time. Okay, until recently. So now, what is the thing which has been proven? Of course, these three scientists have published these papers some more than decades ago, and they have proven by their scientific research that there are certain influences with their, it's not mere thought experiments. They've actually made experiments by launching, sun synchronous satellites at near Earth level, and they have actually transported the photons at a speed much more than that of light and were able to influence the photons. So now the scientists are saying that universe cannot be simultaneously real and local. So they are confused. So does it mean to say that the apple is kept here, some table if I shake in America, the apple will fall here? I don't know. This is what I'm saying, Okay. So whether if I don't see, the apple is not there. If I don't see the apple, only if I see the apple is there, this is what exactly scientists are getting confused. So much so, the atheistic government in China, seeing that, this kind of, experiments are being done by the scientists, because science, after all, science was used by the communists to show that, God does not exist. Right? Even the communists, way back in 2016, they've done wonderful experiments, and now they are also bewildered. What is happening? What is happening at such massive distances? How some photons are able to communicate? Is it some kind of a telepathy? So they are getting confused. And one of those physicists, came to one of the famous Buddhists and also had a long discussion about truth. Because science is not able to give some truth. Science is not able to tell. Okay. But what is our take on this? Whether the Buddhists are able to understand the truth? Srila Prabhupada says, while in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Adi Leela, in the 7th chapter, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is discussing with the Prakashananda Saraswati and other disciples of his, the Mayavadis called sannyasis at Varanasi. So he describes elaborately about the philosophy of the Mayavadis and the philosophy of the Buddhists and how they cannot see the truth. Okay? So Srila Prabhupada says in the purports that the Buddhists of Saranatha or the Shankarites of the Varanasi, they cannot understand the truth of this world. Why? Why they cannot understand the truth of this world? Anybody would like to make attempts? Why? Why? Because they are monists, so what? Okay? Okay, so what? Okay, that you are explaining absolute truth, but I am asking why they are not able to understand. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Mama Maya Duratyaya. Okay? What is Maya? That which is not. That which is not is Maya. Okay? And what is Maya? Maya is the inferior energy of the Supreme Lord. And who are we? Marginal energy. Right? We as marginal energy, we are the superior energy, superior to Maya, superior to inferior energy. But Maya, because it is backed by Daivi Maya, okay, by the Lord's touch, it is able to influence the living entity. So now the living entity is seeing this world and it is observing and trying to grab the knowledge. Right? It all started in science after this double slit experiment, wherein they are able to, when the scientists are actually going and observing the electron, then only it is particle. When they are not observing, it is a wave. So what is an electron? Is it a wave or is it particle? So means observation has a problem associated with it today. Earlier, the world is always objective. Suddenly the world has become subjective. Okay? So subjective, and that subject is also now is a controlled subject by Maya. Okay? How Maya controls Jiva? There are two Shaktis. Avaranatmika Shakti and Prakshepatmika Shakti. This Avaranatmika Shakti is also quoted in the Bhagavad Gita, where does Krishna talk about Avaranatmika Shakti or the covering potency of Maya? Krishna says there are 4 types of people who cannot understand him. Who are they? Namam, Duskritana, Mudaha, Maya Aparita, Jnana. So, Krishna uses the word Maya Aparita Jnana. A person whose knowledge is stolen by Apahrita, stolen by Maya. So one may be very, very scholarly. Okay, very, very attractively speaking. He can nicely juggle with the words. He can nicely misinterpret the Sanskrit to screw out his own meanings. But he is not achieving the purpose of the particular text like say Bhagavad Gita. Okay? So because the Mayavadis and the Buddhists are called as Avishuddha Buddhayaha. Their buddhi is not yet cleansed. Cleansed of what? Cleansed of what? Cleansed of what? Avishuddha Buddhayaha. Yes. So here we see what did Parikshit Maharaj do. Who is Parikshit Maharaj? Parikshit Maharaj is a great emperor of the entire world. Okay. If you become an emperor of the entire world, what will start thinking? What will happen if I am not ruling the world? World will go to dogs. That I will be thinking. But actually I am going to the dogs. By the attachment. Right? Even the great prime ministers of the country also once thought, it seems. Prabhupada quotes one famous astrologer who said, one of the such famous prime minister who passed away became a dog in the Switzerland. Okay. So, jokes apart, stories apart. So, Parikshit Maharaj is not such kind of a king. He was clear that attachments has a problem. What do you mean by attachment? What do you mean by attachment? Attachment means something is attached, no? Something is attached, right? So one is physical attachment of, say, if you are putting a glue, okay, one object is getting attached to the other object, okay. So now we are not talking about such kind of an attachment which is a glue like that, but we are talking about an attachment which is deep within us, deep inherent in us. Okay. So, such attachments Parikshit Maharaj had given up very, very easily. How was he able to give up such attachments very easily? Because to give up attachment, what is it required? Jnana and Vairagya. If bhakti is there, automatically jnana and vairagya are there, right? Okay? So, vairagya is required, detachment is required to come out of the attachment. So, for that we need higher intelligence. Parandrishtva anivartate. So, Prabhupada says in this purport, what does he say? How do you become detached from the material sense objects, not get entanglement and all of those things? Even they also use the word, scientists also use quantum entanglement. Okay, but of course they use in a different context. Okay, so how do you get out of this entanglement or this attachment? By understanding the superior nature, superior quality. The problem with the Mayavadis and the Buddhists is that, what is that? They cannot appreciate that Brahman can have qualities. So they cannot appreciate that Brahman can have qualities. So, here let us read again here this very nice statement. In Bhagavad Gita it is stated, Param Dristvani Vartate. Where does it state? Rasavarjyam Rasopyasya Param Dristvani Vartate. One can give up all connection with material attachment when one is able to see the Param or the superior quality of things. Now, same thing exists. The items which are there in front of us, the same things exist. But the same thing can be seen differently if we know the superior quality of the things. So, right now, how are we seeing this world? We are seeing through the inferior way. We are seeing through the gunas. So, if we are seeing through the gunas, we will not be able to appreciate the real reality. The real reality is beyond the influence of gunas. What are the gunas? There are three gunas are there. Sattvagun, Rajogun and Tamoguna. Okay. These three gunas are influencing us in various combinations. So, in the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says in the purport, the science of Krishna. So, Bhagavad Gita is actually a science. Now, today, if you want to have some nice experiments on the Bhagavad Gita, you can do experiments on the gunas and see how ourselves will be seeing this world in a different way, if we are influenced by a particular guna. If you don't take bath for 20 days, my God. Huh? But there are some humans who do that also. They don't take bath at all for many number of days and years. If you don't take bath for so many days, you can try it yourself if you want. Okay, if you want, I'm saying. You can go crazy. Don't complain on me. Okay, so if you want to get into tamoguna, there is an experiment how to go into tamoguna and see how you are looking at this world. There is also an experiment which can be done by getting into rajoguna and see how you are reacting to this world. You can also experiment this world. You can also experiment and see how you would be seeing this world differently if you are in sattva-guna. Entire gunas are explained in 3 chapters in the Bhagavad Gita. Right? Clearly Krishna explains, elucidates in the 14th chapter, in the 17th chapter, in the 18th chapter, and before that in the 13th chapter, he clearly distinguishes the difference between knower, unknown, kshetra, kshetragna. So here again you see important difference between before knowing there is a knower. In fact, now scientists are also using that word. Before we know the world, we should know the knower. Zeilinger, Anton Zeilinger is using these words. The physicist who has won the Nobel Prize. They are using these words. That before you actually observe, who is observing? Who is observing has to be known. Mayavadis have very, very simple philosophy. Everything is illusion. Even the observer is also illusion. World is illusion, observer also is illusion. That's why we call them as Mayavadis. Their vada is completely Maya. Everything is illusion. But then they say Brahman is Satyam. If Brahman is Satyam, how come Brahman comes into Maya? They're not able to explain that. If there is some reality, whether it is subjective or objective reality exists, and if it can be explained, how you can say that everything is illusion? If observer also is illusion, and the observed is also illusion, then it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit in the whole thing. So, if you want to understand this world, what needs to be done? What needs to be done? If you want to understand this world, Parikshit Maharaj himself has demonstrated. What did he do? He had surrendered. What did Krishna say? Krishna did not stop at the word saying that Mama Maya Duratya. What did he say? Daivi Yesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratya. Next, Mameva e prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. If one surrenders to Krishna, the Supreme Absolute Truth, the truth will get revealed. And if the truth will get revealed, then what will happen? Maya will get away from him. Okay, the influence of Maya will get away from him. There is a famous verse from the Kathopanishad. I read, Nayamatma pravachanena labhyaha na medaya na bahuna shutena yameva isha vrunite tena labhyas tasyeva atma vivrunite tanusvam. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyaha. By giving big lectures, conferences, science and spirituality, bada conferences, you will not be able to understand spirit. Okay. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyaha. Na medaya. Oh, you have great intelligence, big intelligence. Okay. Will you be able to understand? Atma, no. Na bahuna shrutena. Bahuna shrutena means what? Vividly learned, so much learned, every second so many books are coming. All books that person is consuming. Okay? No, na bahuna shrutena. Yem evaisa vrundite tena labhyaha. If the super soul can be realized by that person whom he chooses. Yem evaisa vrundite tena labhyaha. That person will understand only when that person is chosen by the Supreme Lord. Tasaiva Atma Vivrunite Tanuswam. To that person, the Supreme Soul within the heart reveals the personal form. So, how do we know the absolute truth? One has to surrender unto the absolute truth. One has to surrender. And Bhagavad Gita ends at surrender, and Bhagavatam starts at surrender. Here we have seen, right? What did Parikshit Maharaj do? He had surrendered, and then Sukadeva Goswami started speaking. So Bhagavad Gita ends at surrender, Bhagavatam begins at surrender. So now what happens after surrender? What happens after surrender? Is it blank? Nothing else is there. You surrendered. Police will come to the thief and say, okay, show the pistol, surrender. The person raises his hands. Afterwards he becomes wild, is it? He doesn't become wild. He has to listen to whatever police says. Right? Simple. Okay? After surrendering to Krishna, what we have to do? You have to listen to him. You have to listen to him, you have to hear him out. Whatever he has said, you have to do. Okay? And you have to corroborate. Okay, otherwise we will think, oh, I surrendered. Okay, now whatever I think, Krishna has actually told. Like that we will start thinking. We will get into another Maya. What is that another Maya? That Maya of where everything we take it very lightly. So there are 13 apasampradayas are there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, there are 13 apasampradayas are there. What is the problem? They are sahajiyas. They assume everything simple. Okay? Oh, I saw Krishna in the bush yesterday night. Okay, he is with the gopis. I saw. Okay, like that they talk very, very cheaply, very casually they talk. But absolute truth is not something very, very casual. Okay, the study of the truth is not something very, very casual. It requires tremendous amount of effort. Okay, and the effort is not alone. Effort has to be mixed with. Parishrama has to be mixed with. The parishrama has to be mixed with. All good answers only. Surrender, good answer. Bhakti, good answer. I want specific answer. I want more right answer I wanted. I want more right answer. Shraddha. Love. Higher answer I wanted. I want higher answer. Parishrama plus something. Sorry? Tolerance, detachment. These are all wonderful qualities. If you actually read the 13th chapter, Krishna lists out 20 qualities of knowledge. Okay, some of you are all, knowingly or unknowingly, you are all telling those words. Nice. Okay, I want something else, very, very specific. I am looking for. Which is also relevant here. Parishrama, effort. Lot of effort is required to know the truth. Lot of effort is required to know the truth. It cannot be just some sahajiya. Dridhanishta. Okay, the Dridhanishta is also, a kind of, you can say it as effort. Okay, right, you have come almost. Almost you have come. Kripa. Very well. Okay. So, when Yashoda Maya was binding Krishna, okay, there was always 2-finger gap, it seems. Okay. She was binding Krishna around the motor. Okay. Krishna is hardly a 3-year-old boy. It doesn't require more than a 2-foot rope to bind him. Okay. In Yashoda Maya's house, there are 9 lakh cows. 9 lakh cows were gifted by Nanda Maharaj. I don't know how many cows are there. Okay. So that many cows require that many ropes to bind. Okay. Cows will have calves. They also need ropes to bind. She is exhausting all the ropes in the home. Every time she ties the rope, exactly two fingers gap is there. That 2-finger gap is Parishrama and Kripa. These are the 2 words used in the Bhagavatam. Okay? So, Parishrama, yes, one has to do one endeavor. One has to do endeavor to know the Supreme Absolute Truth. But endeavor alone cannot make us conquer Krishna. Because Krishna's another nature is Ajitaha, is unconquerable. But same Ajita Krishna can be conquered if he decides so. If he decides so. Krishna seeing Mother Yashoda. See, Mother Yashoda is no less in comparison with pure devotion. She has all the qualities. She is the best of the love she has. Okay? But still, Krishna wants to demonstrate a principle there. He cannot be easily conquered. Okay? He can be conquered if he agrees to get conquered. Ajitaha, Jitaha can become Jitaha when he decides to do so. So, for that, how do we achieve this mercy? How do we achieve this mercy? Krishna himself, sitting in the heart, directs the jiva to a particular spiritual master who has appeared externally as a spiritual master, will direct the jiva towards Krishna. So this is the role we can see here in the third verse. Very nicely, we see how Srila Prabhupada is saying, Maharaj Parikshit was able to receive the mercy of such a personality as Sukadeva Goswami, and thus he was able to know. Please read this purport and again, trying to emphasize on the word know. Because this is which is intriguing the scientists. Before you know, the knower is required. Okay? So, and what is the state of consciousness of the knower is very important. Okay? So, Maharaj Parikshit was able to receive the mercy of such a personality as Sukadeva Goswami, and thus he was able to know the actual position of the unconquerable Lord. It is very difficult to find the Lord from the Vedic literatures. Just by reading the Vedic literatures, just by having, because of great Sanskrit erudition, you cannot just like that understand the Lord. It is like saying, just because I have good knowledge of English, I will read the medicine books, okay, and then tomorrow I will say Dr. So-and-so. Okay, then if you start practicing like that, immediately, probably, if not immediately, at some point in time, you will get arrested. Why? It is just not enough that you read the medical books. First of all, you have to clear an entrance test. You have to go to the college. You have to get tutored under a proper, authorized person who knows this medicine knowledge, medical knowledge. After that, you have to clear the board. Then you will be given a certificate. So there is a process involved. So even to acquire the Supreme Absolute Truth, there is a process involved. It is not something like, in that conversation between the scientists and the Buddhists, they were saying, no, you should not have any kind of, uh, uh, not able to get the right word. You should not have any kind of prejudice. You cannot have any kind of prejudice when you are approaching truth. You should be completely without prejudice. But the Shastras are saying you should have the prejudice of Shastra. Shastra Chakshushat. One has to observe this world through the eyes of the Shastras. Because Krishna has not given you to be so unprejudiced and know his world the way you want. Again, it is the same problem. You are trying to know this world only by your effort. Krishna has created such a difficult Maya because we wanted it. Because we wanted it, wherein we want to enjoy the world independent of him, Krishna has created such kind of a difficult Maya. So now, unless we show our intent really, prove our intent really, Krishna will not take out that Maya. And only if he takes out that Maya, we will be able to see the truth properly. So, one has to learn to see with a proper prejudice of the Shastra. Okay? Because generally the word prejudice is not right. Like, in Prahlad Maharaj in his prayers, Nate vidu swarthagatim hi Vishnu. Oh, swartha is wrong, no? Generally the word swartha is wrong. Means, because, people are used to understanding swartha in one way. What is swartha? Means, do it for oneself. Okay, become greedy and all of those things and all. But if you know who are you, really, and if you work for your real you, that you are self, you are Atma, you are not this body, and you are not working for the body, you are only working for the self, then Swarthagati is not wrong. So being prejudiced is also nothing wrong, so long the prejudice is right prejudice. The prejudice, if it is as per the Shastra, so Krishna has given this knowledge in the Shastras. Out of his causeless mercy, Krishna has come as Vedavyasa and he had written the scriptures so that it is not that, out of your own, a figment of imagination or figment of experimentation, you would be able to know him. No need to worry so much. The process of knowledge is not so difficult. Even a person who is unpad, who is illiterate, can approach Lord. Correct, no? Krishna says, no, Mam hi partha, vyapasritya, who and all? Who all can approach Krishna? Sri, Vaishya, Sudra, anybody. Anybody can approach Krishna and understand Krishna. Anybody can understand Krishna. In the Bhagavatam purport also, in the Bhagavatam also, in the Sukadeva Goswami prayers, Sukadeva Goswami says, Kirata, Pulinda, Abira, Shamba, Yavanadaya, so many classes of people who are not fit to learn the Vedic knowledge. Even they can understand the Supreme Absolute Truth. Because it is democratically available to all living entities. Not only humans, sir, it is available to all living entities. Supreme Absolute Truth, which is so difficult to understand for such scientists who are Nobel laureates, is easily understandable, provided, what is it? Prabha Vishname Namaha. If they are able to accept the path, we'll read it here, it is there. But it is very easy to know him by the mercy of a liberated devotee like Shukadeva Goswami. If we accept the path of the realized transcendentalists, then we will be able to understand the absolute truth. So now to follow the process of the process of the realized process of the pure devotees, is it that you need to have wonderful education qualification? Is it that you have to become greatly, pious person? Once, one devotee, okay, He came in front of Srila Prabhupada. That was the time of giving initiation. Okay. So this person, what was he doing? He was a professional butcher. His profession was to kill cows. Okay. His profession was to kill cows. So if a person kills one cow, what is the sin? How many lifetimes that person has to come? As many hairs which are there on the body of the cow, that many lifetimes he has to take birth and get killed. So imagine a professional butcher, very, very sinful person, right? He came to Srila Prabhupada to take initiation. What will happen at the time of initiation? Divyam jnanam datya papasya sankshama. Right? What happens? Divya jnanam, transcendental knowledge will be given, and also the sins will get vanquished. Right? So sins becoming vanquished by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, he was giving the mala, the devotee was catching. Then he holds. No more killing. That person was very tall person. Okay, very heavily built. Okay. So moment he hears from Prabhupada, no more killing, he shakes. Okay. And his name was given as Maharati. Maharati is one who is able to conquer many ekaratis, many ratis, many thousands of ratis. He is called as Maharati. So, there was one nice conversation going on with Srila Prabhupada and his devotees. Okay. So, Srila Prabhupada quotes one famous Mayavadi scholar of India. I don't want to name here. Okay. Because that was a private conversation. So, Prabhupada says, this person is not able to understand the absolute truth. Okay. Why is it so? Okay. So there were various devotees giving various examples. Various reasons. Okay. Brahmananda Prabhu says, Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha. So Prabhupada was not pleased. Then other devotees started giving various reasons. Okay. So then one devotee somehow stood erect, and then he said one word. What is that? Because we heard enough of this class, I wanted you all to say that one word. Guess that word? Mercy. Surrender. One word. And Prabhupada liked that word. No. Of course, there are mutas. No, one word. I want one word answer. Huh? Sorry? Ashrita. What? Patita. Huh? Sorry? Ajita. Kripa. Huh? Almost आ गया. Almost आ गया. Huh? Almost आ गया. But I want one word. Huh? Somebody said bhakti. Almost आ गया था. Okay, I'll tell the answer. The word that devotee said is Bhakti-Vedanta. Okay. They don't have Bhakti-Vedanta. So it has two meanings. Okay. First is the Mayavadis cannot understand the absolute truth or Forget the scientists. Now Mayavadis also cannot understand, the Buddhists also cannot understand, because they don't have Bhakti-Vedanta. It means two meanings. One is, of course, definitely they don't have Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada as an Acharya like that. It also means they don't have the dual aspect of Bhakti, devotion service, and Vedanta, the understanding of the knowledge. What is Vedanta? The end of Veda. What is Veda? Knowledge. Knowledge. The end of knowledge, Vedanta, is understood by the process of Bhakti. So Bhakti-Vedanta is required. Both Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada is required as a, to guide us as a spiritual master. Because spiritual master is one who first of all, is spiritual master, is not material master. Means a master who has seen spirit. Okay, who is spiritual, who is completely spiritual. So that master, because he has seen the spirit completely, he is able to guide the devotee, guide the disciple properly. So we need a spiritual master, and we need the kripa of the spiritual master. So now how do we get the kripa from Krishna? By serving the spiritual master. The servitor personality of Godhead is the spiritual master. If you serve the servitor personality of Godhead as the spiritual master, we will get the due mercy. And thus, we will be able to realize this particular thing. So, with that I would like to conclude. If anybody has any questions. Somebody has a question over there.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, as you had mentioned, Buddhists say that we should know things without any prejudice. So, usually that is an argument people give when we present Bhagavad Gita as it is. You say this is your prejudice, that you see Bhagavad Gita through the lens of a devotee. You don't want to see that way. So, but Gita is meant for that, for presenting Lord's message like that. So, how do you think we should present in general as a time of book distribution? How do we present Bhagavad Gita as it is to those who give these arguments, like when we present to, let's say, educated class, maybe in universities and so forth? What do you think is a neutral or general perspective to present Bhagavad Gita as it is to them?
Okay. So, in the Vedic tradition, there is darshanas. Okay. So, basically, if you want to propose your theory or philosophy, that should satisfy every statement of the Shastra. Okay? So, there is enough history, enough recorded history, which is an evidence today, that the Mayavadic understanding has been thoroughly defeated by the Vaishnavite understanding. The Vaishnavite interpretations of Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, Dvaita, Achintya Veda, Veda Tattva, all these tattvas, all the scholars from these Vaishnavite traditions have thoroughly defeated the Mayavadic understanding. Okay? So that is one thing, first thing. So now second thing, how about interpreting the Bhagavad Gita from the material point of view? What is wrong in that? Okay, so now the point here is, what is the potential? What is the highest potential of reading the Bhagavad Gita? If that is not understood, and if it is understood only from material management perspective, so then what happens? I have not really understood Bhagavad Gita. This is not material Gita, this is Bhagavad Gita, the song sung by the God himself. God is not really behind how well you are managing your company. Because at the end of the day, you are managing the company for some wealth. Right? End of the day, you are not there where the company may exist for centuries, you are disappearing from the scene. So, the Bhagavad Gita has to be understood from its true potential. And the true potential is that you are the spirit. So, with that perspective, we have to explain. But of course, we don't have that much time when you are explaining to a person on the street, okay, you are saying, why you are Bhagavad Gita as it is. You need to have, more, understanding of the person and then give the perspectives. You can give the perspectives of this parampara, perspective of misinterpretation. Somebody has misinterpreted Bhagavad Gita as a conversation between a doctor and a patient. Where is that meaning is there? Elsewhere in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada quotes Bhakti-Vedanta Saraswati Thakur. So what is, real meaning and gauna? Okay. Abhidhavritti and gaunavritti. What is misinterpretation? Means something you cannot interpret from the dictionaries. There are standard dictionaries are there. Okay. Niruktis are there. From that only you should interpret. Not interpret that this body is Pandavas. There is nothing called as Kurukshetra. Where is it mentioned? Is there any dictionary which says Kurukshetra is this body? Nowhere. Some figment of imagination came into that and then they put it into Bhagavad Gita. So this is not the way we have to interpret. So Bhagavad Gita, we say this is Bhagavad Gita as it is because of these reasons. And any word of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, we can thoroughly prove it through the Shastras. Okay. In fact, long ago, some around 18 years or 19 years back, when, I just met one of our devotees here. Okay. We are so proud of our material education. Okay. Scoring ranks in the country. So, this devotee said, how to read Bhagavad Gita. I said, what is there to read Bhagavad Gita? Okay. So then he showed, open any random page of Bhagavad Gita. I just opened a random page of Bhagavad Gita. And then the devotee proved to me every line in the purport. Prabhupada is actually quoting from scriptures. He told me, open any other random page of Bhagavad Gita. Again, I opened another random page of Bhagavad Gita. Again, he showed every line is actually a translation of some other scriptural statements. So much authentically Srila Prabhupada has presented Bhagavad Gita. Hence we say it as Bhagavad Gita as it is. Okay. And hence, this knowledge has to be spread. So we should not shy away. When we meet, opponents like this, our convictions also will get increased. Our convictions in the Bhagavad Gita as it is also will get increased. Because we are not able to answer a person, we'll again become more and more serious in understanding why it is so. Okay, any other questions? Somebody's having over there.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, you mentioned that Prabhupada mentions in the purport, to know is very important. So when we are reading every day, how to avoid missing some, Prabhupada stresses some words in the translation and purport. So how to not miss some important words while every day we are reading? Because when we miss some of the important points, because Prabhupada words, every word Prabhupada very choosingly Prabhupada uses. So how to sensitively study Prabhupada books?
Okay. So the question is that Prabhupada has used the words very, very sensitively. How can we be sensitive to Prabhupada's words, translations? Okay. So, I'll tell you a nice pastime. Once Prabhupada's secretary, I think it is Rishikesh Swami. He was the Prabhupada's assistant. He was listening to the tape which Prabhupada has recorded that day, night. It was recorded. So he was playing, he was hearing. Actually nothing is there. Okay. In the whole recording. Maybe he was thinking Prabhupada has forgot to press the record button. Neither he thought. Okay. And finally only one word was there which Prabhupada has translated in that whole tape. So he goes back to Prabhupada and asks Prabhupada, by chance did you forget to press the recording button? No, Prabhupada said, no, I am just meditating on that one word. How to give explanation to that one word. So, Prabhupada has given these purports out of deep thought. Okay. So now the question is, fine, we have got so much Western educated, as a person from commerce student, as a person from background of law, we read one big case law of some 20 pages. The essence would be the judgment, which will be very less, some 1 or 2 paragraphs. Okay. We got used to that kind of reading. Unfortunate. Wherein it doesn't really matter whether you're concentrating on each line. Probably you can concentrate on one page. I don't know what does it mean. But anyway. So that's how we got used to. Right? So now how to make that effort? Don't rush. Don't rush. Maybe initially to understand Prabhupada's books, we may, have a reasonable pace to pick up and read the Prabhupada's books. But then after that, we need to put a lot of effort in reading properly Prabhupada's book. Don't rush. Even if you have finished only one sloka in entire half an hour or 1 hour, it doesn't matter. Okay, what is important is your understanding. In the Sanskrit, there is avyaya is there. One has to understand the avyaya. After understanding the avyaya, understand the word-to-word meaning. Prabhupada has used the meaning in one context, in one way, one place. In some other context, in another place. So you see here that word, swam, his own, kalevaram, body. First, initially I thought, Parishit Maharaj has given up his body, I thought, for a while. But Prabhupada has given the word as the meaning is different. Okay? Word to word meaning is swam, his own, kalevaram is material body. But Prabhupada said, he has given up himself, surrendered himself as a disciple. So we have to carefully study. So for that we have to have a lot of patience. And we should glorify Prabhupada's purpose. We should glorify his beautiful sense of giving the meanings. Okay? Unfortunately, that is being edited today. Okay? So we have to be careful in valuing every word, every translation of Prabhupada. It requires patience. That's the only answer I can say. Okay. Any other questions? Last question, we'll conclude. Somebody's here.
Hare Krishna Prabhu,
Yeah.
Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Over here today we discuss the importance of Kripa. So if we get Guru Kripa, Krishna Kripa and Vaishnava Kripa, then also Krishna says in 9.26 Yoga Shyamam Vahamyam. So even if our effort is sometimes not up to the mark, still can we get Golok Vrindavan?
There are 5 Krupas are there, not only 3. Okay? There are 5 Krupas are there. What are that? Hari, Guru, Vaishnava, Bhagavad Gita, Adya Shastras, and Atma. Atma Kripa. We have to be merciful to ourselves first. In not getting illusioned. Not leaving any stone unturned. Okay? We should not leave any stone unturned at all. How did Prabhupada demonstrate this? By Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. He was so resolute in his purpose. To achieve the order of his spiritual master. So unless one become merciful to oneself, to focus exclusively on the order of the spiritual master and put all the effort, okay, Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana paushaka hyanantas buddhaya avyavisayinaha. Okay, now our buddhi, if it is, varying with so many things, so many ideas and all of those things and all, how we will be determined? One can be determined only if he is Vyavasayatmika buddhi. So, we have to be merciful to ourselves. Yes, Krishna is Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. Definitely it is true. He is going to, even if there is some kind of a shortcomings in one's endeavor, Krishna will fill that gap. Means through his spiritual master. Prabhupada will fill the gap. But if you want to go back to Godhead, one has to fully put all the effort. Say for example, a person is unpad. He is having very, very limited knowledge, intelligence. It is not expected that he becomes Vedantist. But a person who is having a lot of intelligence, he is expected to become Vedantist, Bhakti-Vedantist. It is relative. See, as a jiva, we have one karma. Okay? Through the karma, we got some energies, some efforts, intelligence, emotions, all of those things have come to us. So that has to be 100% put into Krishna's service. Krishna sees that how much you are holding back, right? Holding back not only in terms of wealth, prana, artha, diya, vacha. He sees how much you are holding back. So everything 100% has to be put and surrendered. Then only there is a meaning of surrender. Then we have properly used the Atma Kripa. Then all other 4 Kripas also will work fully.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.